Hello, welcome to the 13th house. Come on in, take your shoes off, make yourselves at home, and let's get weird for a little bit, shall we? If you're new here, welcome to the weirdness. It is going to be exactly that. If you are returning, welcome back, and thank you so much for finding something here worth returning to. Absolutely love having you, and it most certainly would not be the same without you. As always, your perception is your responsibility. Always use your discernment, only take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and keep in mind it's a collective message, so every little thing may or may not resonate with you in your specific situation, so only take what fits and leave the rest for whoever it belongs to. Okay, let's get started. Alright, so before I even pressed record, I went ahead and pulled some runes. Alright. And I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Berkana. Okay. Birth, fertility, growth, a love affair. Alright. And then we have algae. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yet again. Don't come for me. Which is, like protection, a shield. Okay. Overcoming obstacles. And then we had, I believe it's Hoglaws, I think. Actually, it's tests, trials, force of nature, okay, destruction. And then, Othelia, which is, I think I'm saying that one right. Inherited property, a group, order, okay, something like that. And so it seems like somebody, what I got from it, was that somebody is having some sort of love affair with a type of guardian, okay? Whether it be a person, an entity, an archetype, whatever, okay? And this is bringing about some type of trial, some type of destruction or possible destruction because of something that, some type of official order or something currently has ownership of that this affair, of what could come of this affair, might put at risk for whoever's having the affair with this guardian, them and that guardian, what they might inherit. Okay, so we'll see what else comes out with that, but that's right off the rip, some pretty deep, heavy shit, okay? And then we have rectification here. Let me get one. Oh, okay. And then traitors and conspiracies. Interesting. Alright. So what I think I'm going to do with this one, because the reading I did yesterday also had a lot of deep symbolism, right? And I know not everyone goes like straight in for the deep dive and then slowly pulls that stuff out and weaves it into the external. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a pile here for what's reflecting internally, like how this is showing up internally. And then over here, show how it's showing up externally. And then the pile in the middle is going to be like the bridge of possibilities in between that connect the internal and the external. Alright? So that's going to be that. See how that works. After I pull some cards, I'm probably going to get the jar of weirdness, and we'll go from there. Anyway, on the bottom of the deck is folly. Okay? Someone may have been accused of this affair or something, being a result of someone being irresponsible, that it was just a quick, nothing to be taken serious, okay, but whatever this affair is, apparently it is getting serious because now it's causing this uproar, right? With rectification, I think that's part of why this trials are here, giving those involved a chance to rectify any mishaps, clarify any misunderstandings, okay? And then with traitors and conspiracies, I have a feeling that someone is going to try to say that, you know, someone is a traitor, all right, or that a conspiracy is going to be exposed through this. All right, so how it's reflecting internally is the 11th house. Friends, acquaintances, casualties with others, friendly help given or received. Companies, organizations, groups, clubs, hopes, wishes, goals, and intentions, one's life path. Public relations, promotional activities, idealized projects, social consciousness. Okay, so internally this is showing up as like, as far as your life path goes, you know, if you know your life path number, that kind of thing, you could look into that. Also, with companies, organizations, groups, clubs, this tells me that it has some kind of tie to your belief system, okay? With the friendly help given or received, this guardian seems to be a more internal type thing. It could be like an archetype. It could be, you know, something that you've hosted, maybe. The friends, acquaintances, casualties with others. You know, it's something that you have built and nourished a connection with. Okay, and this presence has gone from like this rigid, authoritarian type, idealized being to something that you've connected with on a more personal level. Okay, it's helped shape who you are and how you react or relate to the public, and the way that you promote yourself with the promotional activities here. Social consciousness, this might be part of what they're going to say, is this traitorous kind of thing, is how this guardian, okay, may have influenced the social consciousness around you, okay, because it could be seen as like, and that might be what the rectification is here, is some type of bias in your belief system that has, because this archetype or something was supposed to be in a position of power, a position of authority, and so it's like a no-no to let certain boundaries be crossed, right? And that, you know, in doing so could influence the way that you present yourself, and it could be said that this guardian is trying to impose itself upon you to broaden its own influence amongst the collective consciousness, if that makes sense. Internally speaking, energetically speaking. Alright, for the external, please. This is funny because it's kind of picking up where we left off yesterday on that reading of the feminine polarity, coming of age, right? And this whole conspiracy thing could even connect with what was going on in that last reading, where this group, this order had, and that could be what this inheritance involves too, because that's part of what their motive was for keeping this feminine aspect kind of repressed, is so they could exploit her to continue to like feed off of her inheritance, what was meant for her, because they could say that she wasn't capable of handling it herself, that, you know, it had to be entrusted to a higher order to maintain or kind of take control of for her. Anyway, if it comes up, it's coming out. So it is what it is. Alright, that's way too many, but I'm being told to take Gemini, so that's what I'm going to do. The 10th house peeked out, the figure one cuts in the world, public image, persona, profession, disciplined capacities, the initial authority figure in one's life, a parent, usually the mother, an employer or boss, active heads of any enterprise, administrators of property, landlords and proprietors. How eerie, we were just talking about this inheritance. And this group trying to impose themselves as like a proprietorship. Anyway, Gemini. Being versatile, adapting, sharing experiences, welcoming challenges. Okay, so externally, this is reflecting in the many ways that you are handling what challenges arise for you at this time. Okay, you're being a lot more open with others, sharing your experiences, and being open to hearing others out too. And I'm getting something about, for some of you, this is not quite normal for you because, like, you keep to yourself a lot. And that might also be one of the reasons why, on the energetic plane, like it's being said that it's because of this guardian that you are choosing to act differently, that you have been able to be more adaptable, more versatile, okay? They're having a hard time accepting that the connection is genuine and that it's not because this guardian was a part of this order, okay? And they're calling that guardian a traitor because they're like, you're doing the same thing. In their eyes, they're going to try to say that that guardian is doing the same thing by exploiting the feminine, but that the guardian is wanting to take all for itself, thereby being a traitor to the order that it had started out in, okay? Because that's how it ended up with you to begin with. It's how you ended up hosting it to begin with, okay? Whatever belief system that you attach to most is how it entered through, okay? How you learn to identify it. And thus it had played a part in your morals, in shaping your integrity, okay, things like that, before you were able to learn to shape that yourself, okay? Anyway, wow, that was a little side quest there. Okay. For the bridge here, what's connecting across the internal and external? Ah! Wow. Not all light is love. Discernment is sacred. There are smiles laced with poison. There is truth wrapped in shadows. Trust what your body knows before your mind explains it away. Ooh. I was talking about the belief system, right? These things that have to do with the mind, okay? The body is more closely linked to the subconscious, right? So it's like the mind being compromised by these belief systems, by these by the social consciousness, right? And with the public relations, like how you interact with the public, how the public perceives you, relates to you, how you promote yourself. Like you can think of yourself as like part of an enterprise or an independent enterprise, right? When you're operating from a place of sovereignty, right, you become like an independent contractor, so to speak, or like an independent entity. All right, you promote yourself. You aren't promoting the image of something else, this idealized project here. You're not promoting a belief system that has been passed down to you, that you inherited, so to speak, okay? And that could be the inheritance that is in question now, because these energetic beings, before they can emerge and become something more, they have to take root in, it's just like how egregores work, right? Like, it starts off as something that's just something born of the mind, and then it gains enough influence and enough focus and intention and so on and so forth is invested in it from more and more people as it gains influence, right? Anyway, they have to have that that promotion. You are promoting something until you are operating from a state of sovereignty, okay? And it's created like this conflict of interest. And not all light is love. Trusting your body before your mind has a chance to, because your body isn't going to lie. Your emotions aren't going to lie. And this is going to be the biggest determining factor on how these trials and stuff go, whether it leads to destruction or whether or not this fertility and growth with this love affair, okay, whether it remains protected, whether or not it goes anywhere. I mean, it's going to heavily depend on you getting out of your head and operating in your heart space. And I'm getting that, you know, it's not going to matter so much about, like, you have to really detach from letting how others are going to perceive your truth sway your loyalty to it. Okay? Like, if this is real to you, then that's what matters. And, like, that's the ultimate test of loyalty. That's the ultimate test of faith. And that could be what this trial is. It's like, well, we will put this under trial, under judgment, to see if it can survive this, the pressure or whatever. Now, it could be something upcoming, something that's currently happening, or something that already has happened. Okay? I'm getting for the majority of you that this is resonating with. This is something that you're coming out of the tail end of. And it's a lesson that you had to learn very hard, about not all light is love. Because something about this entire experience changed what love meant to you. You thought you knew what love was. You thought that that you had truly experienced it and everything. And then this whole thing kicked off, and you learned that there's so much more to this existence, to what's real, okay? Beyond just what we can see outside of ourselves, and how anything out here becomes something that makes it out here. It has to start internally, right? And on the bottom of the deck we have Capricorn, being cool and controlled, being ambitious, following your own road, and securing stability, okay? Which is what this is saying, is like, you know, following your own road, promoting yourself, okay, and whatever it is that you share with this guardian, okay, y'all making your own thing, because it's like because not only is it going to be that you, in doing so, are embracing, your life path, like you're actually stepping up into that, taking, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Finally taking center stage in your life and your purpose, okay? And in doing that, it's also going to expose this conspiracy for those who are also bound and wrapped up in this. Because the ripple effect is very severe. Not only just energetically, internally, for everyone who this is affecting, because energy ripples outward, it touches everything, it moves through everyone. Sorry, it's a lot, because as I'm getting the information and everything, it's also showing me, like, it's almost like someone going and polluting a water source, and then watching unsuspecting people who need clean, fresh water to survive unknowingly continuously drink poison, and no one's doing anything. You just have more and more who are wanting to cash in on pulling the okie doke over on these people who need water to fucking survive, just because whatever poisoned the water doesn't need water to survive. That kind of thing. It's sick. And I think that's what it's trying to convey here with that not all light is love. Like, just because someone puts off a certain image, and just because something has been well known, and there might be some good choice words and a reputation or something like that built around something that is said to be of light, does not mean that it's necessarily love. Light and darkness both touch every part of the spectrum, from love to hate, war, envy, everything. So just because something is in the light doesn't mean that it can't be anything other than love, okay? Alright. Give me some information here. Tell me about what's going on internally between the individual and the guardian, this love affair, and what it has to do with this company, organization, hopes, wishes, goals, intentions, one's life path, how it possibly connects to this conspiracy, what have you, as well as the other cards that are out, please, and their respective meanings. Alright, we have player. Socialite of charm, elegance, expert of romance, leisurely life. Let me get one more, please. Okay. I'm getting something about and keep in mind this could be something that's already happened, currently happening, or soon to happen. But anyway, getting something of part of what's going to be something pressured is society or the social consciousness might be interpreting, if you've talked to anyone about this guardian, about this connection, and it's very unique in how it's in the root of it is starting off internally, right? They might say that that it's something evil, it's something wicked, that you're being charmed, you're being played, shiny object syndrome, like you've idealized this version of something in your head, and that it's not actually real. And then Young came out here, vitality, innovation, potential, and growth. And on the flip side, what this guardian might be facing in regard to what's the criticism, or the evidence being used against it, whatever, is that yesterday's reading was talking about the feminine coming of age, blossoming, right? They could be putting pressure on this guardian because you being perceived as young, okay? That they're just wanting to hone in on your potential, okay? With this vitality and potential, right? Because of the life force that you hold in your life path, what you carry within you, the potential for this archetype to become something more, to be unbound from the internal state, to be able to emerge into something physical, to be able to cross that barrier. There's something about your ability to bring that through that they're trying to say is the true motive for this guardian wanting to connect with you, okay? Alright. And for how it's reflecting in the external, with Gemini being here, being versatile, adapting, welcoming challenges, sharing experiences. You could be a Gemini, sun, moon, rising, okay? Or someone significant in the things that are currently going on around you. Could be a Gemini, or that's just overall energy. I'm taking it as the overall energy. For the external, how is this reflecting externally? We have Magician. Channeler of power, potential, magic, illusion, manifestation. Exactly. And that goes here with Young because, like I said, this is how this group, this whatever connected to this guardian, is perceiving you, okay? So, clarifying how you hold this ability to channel power, to bring potential into form, okay, for this guardian to manifest, okay, into the external. How is it reflecting in the external? Well, it's stepping forth into, through the gates of matter, okay. Ooh. That is a very, very rare power ability. Because a lot of people say they manifest, and I'm not doubting that or whatever, but what I have experienced and just seen, witnessed in others and what they call manifestation is using the law of attraction, okay, to bring things to them. Manifestation is something beyond that. It is pulling something from the realm of the unseen, from the internal, and bringing it out into the external, into its full expression. It's not just bringing the energy of it in. It is the whole something. Anyways, over clarifying. I'm working on that. Comes from many years of like struggling to be understood. I get one more, please. How is this reflecting externally? Ooh, interesting. Okay, so I'm getting that some of you, like, you can feel that this is happening, right? But you haven't quite seen outside yourself the fruit of that, so to speak, of this manifestation, right? The physical proof of its arrival here. Okay, we have 3. That's too many. I'll mention it. I'll put it back. We have criminal, transgressor of justice, prison, parole, discipline. Knight, keeper of honor, armor, battle, loyalty, and bard. Keeper of epic tales, ballads, and legends. Holy fuck. This guardian, now I see why they're so hard up about this particular guardian, okay? This guardian, how it is connected to this group, okay, in the external world, like how you would hear of it, know of it, when you talk to others, how they would perceive it, is it is known as a criminal amongst this order, okay? Its attachment to you was its original transgression to begin with, okay? And there's something about it to where it's like it uses you as its armor, but it's not doing it in a way that's like crooked or wrong, which is what they're going to try to say it is, because it's real easy to see how that could be valid, right? But it's like you are its keeper. Your soul, like your essence, your life force, okay? The part of you that has walked through other lifetimes, okay? It knows this energy, it's more than energy. It's like an archetype, right? Used to have form, used to have all this other stuff, but then something happened and it was bound to the realm of the internal, okay? Ooh, interesting. Now I see why those came out together. Okay, but I need just one. How this is reflecting externally, please. God, that song by Eminem or whatever is like, I'm a criminal. Now it's stuck in my head because, like, the word criminal is funny. maybe that song is relevant in some way. I might look up the lyrics to that after I get off of here, see like what all is said is that, because now I'm intrigued. Ooh, we have child and genius. Whoa. I just said that this is a very rare ability, a very rare gift, and I didn't even say anything about it, but I was thinking it. Like, this is the kind of thing that, you know, would have you singled out as a child, like, and that's right here, child and genius, okay? Ever since you were a child, you've known this guardian, okay? And they're going to try to say that because of that, you were put in a vulnerable position, okay? Interesting. You know, I was talking about in my reading yesterday, like this, like the heart itself is shaped like a rosebud, right? Like hasn't bloomed yet, okay? And this feminine aspect coming of age, it's like that heart opening, it's blooming. And on this card, it says spring buds, beacon of hope, growth. And then with genius, bearer of gifts, extraordinary intellect, innovative mind, and an exceptional ability. And with the Gemini energy, being versatile, adapting, welcoming challenges. This is reflecting externally in how you have always been aware of this ability. You have always inherently understood the language of the universe, like through symbolism, mythology, like very deep, being able to describe things in metaphor to break it down. And you have a very high level of emotional intelligence, and not only that, you're very intelligent when it comes to just knowing shit. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, you just know shit. You know shit that kind of freaks people out of, like, how the fuck do you know that? And, like, sometimes I'm getting something about, like, you could have moments where you feel like you're just talking out your ass. Like, you're just saying shit. And it turns out to be something profoundly true. But it's, like, something that's, like some type of scientific breakthrough, or something that, like, say that you and your friends are discussing the possibility of something, of some type of scientific discovery that they're trying to figure out, and then you just go on this huge spiel talking out of your ass of just running wild with all the possibility of how you think it could be or whatever, and then 2 weeks later it comes out that, like, exactly what you said is exactly what the fuck they discovered. And it's like, you might have that kind of thing happen quite often, or it has happened quite often. Alright. Oh, well, I was going to say, for how it connects here, we have painter, depict, sublimate, abstraction, form, sensation. I was talking about, of course, how the internal and the external are meeting here, is bringing substance, meaning, potential into form through the gates of matter, right? I talked about this in yesterday's reading too, how your mind's eye is able to give form and depict, give a physical form and meaning to every attribute, every physical feature, what have you, to this form, to kind of sublimate this guardian, and to get it to become something more. Okay, then we have father and learner. Whew. Now, this father energy that I'm picking up on is also archetypal, okay? This has to do with your soul, okay? How it reflects externally is it's funny, your external could, how it connects through is the inverted aspect of it in your physical reality. So your relationship with your father might be strained. You might have just kind of you could be very close, but it's might be one of those things where you have to love someone at a distance, or that what they believe, how they raised you to be, okay? Like, you don't vibe well with that. Because this internal, like, your internal influence as far as, like, the patriarch of self, okay? The internal father, is taught you this. This is an inherited gift from your father. And how it bridges the internal into the external is because your father held the gift of creation, okay? And could bring things from within into the external. I'm sorry, it's like, it's wild because the way that it's coming through of your physical, like, in your external life, the way that your family, your father, had tried to raise you and teach you to be a part of this entire system, yet that influence within you, like, withstood through all of this because it's this ancestral thing. It's like, and I mentioned this in my reading yesterday too, about stardust being in your blood, like remnants of the cosmos having been there, like paint on the fingers of someone who's like a painter, like there's residue still fresh there from whatever created, like. And on the bottom of the deck is singer, resonance, moving hearts, harmony, emotion, and performance. And think of like how when someone sings, it is doing exactly what I'm talking about, just in a different way. They're taking the emotion and everything that holds meaning within them. They're taking it from within themselves, and through their voice, through their breath, they are letting it out. It is coming outside of themselves, right? And in doing that, it influences the world around them, right? Because that is... And it's like you're doing this as where a singer can do this with their voice, painter, like painter, sculptor, whatever. You do it with your hands. You bring things through into the material world. Whew. And with the learner here, seeker of knowledge, inquisitive progress, aspirant, explorer, you could have been learning this throughout your whole life, and like maybe it was something that you had an inkling about your whole life, that something didn't feel quite right about what you were told you were supposed to think, supposed to believe in, or something. And it's like you were always inquisitive about like seeking out what resonated with your truth. You didn't ever like let someone dictate the truth to you. The only thing you would truly accept as truth was if something resonated with something you inherently already knew. And again, inherently, something you inherited within yourself from your... Anyways. Whew. Alright, I'm going to pull a few of my handwritten oracle, and then we'll pull from the jar of weirdness, and then I'm going to call it. It's already late. And I have things to do tomorrow. I'm an adult. I have responsibility. Just kidding. I don't know where that came from. Pardon me. It's fucking late. Alrighty. So with this, back to the internal part of this with player, the 11th house, young. Okay. It's like this guardian knows your deepest wishes, your deepest goals, and it knows your intentions, that your integrity, like your morals ain't shit. Like, not saying that your morals ain't shit, but like morals don't mean shit. It's about a person's integrity, right? Morals are a performance of when you know people are watching, how are you going to behave. Integrity is how you conduct yourself regardless of whether or not someone else is watching. And that's, like I was saying, is a big thing here between you and this guardian. It's like, how has this connection been nurtured outside of the whole thing of whether or not you could see them or anyone else could see them? Did you need external validation for this connection to be real to you, for it to hold weight, significance, for that love to bloom, okay? We have job, occupation. Boundaries are on point, okay? So like I was saying with this guardian, there's like this very stern energy that comes through with it, but when it comes to you, it's like and this was in the reading yesterday as well, where as you've grown and it's like this guardian knows you, it's like almost its job to observe you, to watch how you do things. Part of its sentence, so to speak, this rectification, to rectify something, is in staying true to its job. And his boundaries have always been very on point. There was always this hard line, okay, but something happened, I'm getting within the past, like, 2 to 7 years, that those boundaries had begun to, like, they were blurring, okay? Maybe it's been helping you shape your boundaries, like where your boundaries are, where your limits are, possibly because of the way that you were raised, of the influences that you had around you. It may not have always been easy for you to hold firm on boundaries. But like I said, this guardian has taught you so much, and in loving this guardian, it has taught you how to love yourself better. Oh shit. We have FBI, CIA, Secret Service involvement, deep government type shit. Okay, so internally you might be aware of something like this. You understand on a deeper level things that the government and stuff are involved in, and how it all also ties into this order, okay? Because this influence can't manifest itself externally, so it has to move through humans to have a vehicle to impose its will upon the external world, in hopes that, you know, this mergence will happen between the vessel and itself, where it can overtake it, something like that, is what I'm getting here. And it's like the government, CIA, because, like, it's no secret that they do a lot of shit and keep it under wraps about things like spirituality. Even they hide so much about history and science and blah, blah, blah. We all know that, okay? But I'm getting here that you might be noticing that you have, like, that you're being surveillanced or something. Maybe you're on a watch list. You might be being gang stalked, or just you're noticing that you're being followed, something like that. And this is something that you've learned to be, like, tuned into because, you know, growing up or whatever, ever since you were a child, these things have all resonated with your truth and helped serve as a silent confirmation for you that the truth that you know in your heart all along is true. Otherwise, these things would not happen. And that also touches into this here in the external pile with Magician, Child, and Genius. Okay, you may have had your first run-in with the ABC boys as a child. Okay. And then we have drugged, manipulated, exploited. Bro, I was just fucking what? My last reading touched up on so much of that shit too. So much of you internally was compromised. Yet you still And maybe that's what changed something in this guardian, okay? It's like witnessing something like that, okay? Ooh, how it reflects in the external. You may be quite used to being called a liar, okay? And it also could be that anytime you've tried to communicate something about this guardian, okay, that they try to tell you that it's a liar, that it's going to lie to you, it's going to manipulate you, that never listen to it. Never mind the fact that it's been there with you through everything, and that ever since those boundaries began to blur, it's been guiding you in a way in this more streamlined direction on your path. And that's why it's being seen as a traitor, because it can see beyond where where you can feel out to. And it's like having, if you're tested to go to navigate a maze in the dark with earplugs, a blindfold, whatever, but you have an earpiece in of someone who has a bird's eye view of the entire course that's whispering in your ear, go left here, 5 paces forward, move to your left. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we have superficial, only skin deep, and divorce, separation. Okay, you might be someone who has like very specific taste, okay, in the opposite sex of what you're attracted to, very high standards. And you also might hold yourself to a very high standard, okay? And you may have been in connections with others who, like, I'm getting like the people you get with are normally like, you try to, when it comes to those standards and stuff, you look deeper than skin. But for some reason, it's like whoever you get with, is something about this inversion. And it came up last night too, just like about your father. You try to operate this way, things within you operate this way, but whatever is outside of you it inverts, okay? You try to look beyond the surface. And it never fails that the ones you end up getting with only see the surface. Okay? And this could result in, or could have resulted in, multiple divorces, separations, okay? And people might be saying, like, that's part of this too, is like, why they're calling you a liar is because you've had many failed relationships, okay? And you're very picky about what you want. And so people might be saying, like, you're delusional, like just wrapped up in a fantasy, and that it's like part of grieving or something, like in this romantic denial or something. I don't know, but that's what's coming up about it. I don't know. It's hard for them to understand the way that your mind works, what you can perceive, okay? And then forced dependency wants to totally dominate, okay? This might be something that your guardian had made you aware of, okay? Because I'm getting this is a tactic that was used by your father or your family, okay? And it was like a cycle that they had put you in, all right? And it even bled into relationships and stuff. And I'm getting like you're a very attractive person, okay? And so like others who operate like they don't operate on depth. They operate on this like superficial thing. It can put you in a forced dependency situation when someone attaches value to you because of the way you look, because of the strong physical attraction they have to you, okay? And so if you go to pull away from them physically in any way, whatever it was they provided you with, they pull back on that because, and it's, in some cases it's intentional, and in some cases it's because these individuals don't know any different, because they're operating from a, like the depths of them have been numbed for so long because they've been distracted for so long that they honestly don't understand that that's what they're doing, okay? But once you've caught on to it, you have to get yourself out of that kind of situation, all right? And it's like it was like a tactic to keep you in survival mode, also as a way of like keeping your energetic reserves, like you wouldn't have the energy, the mental fortitude, for your nervous system to be able to relax fully enough, to bring something through. Because when it comes to this love and this connection with this guardian archetype thing, you know, it requires a lot of focus, a lot of dedication, devotion, stuff like that. And if you're constantly stuck in survival, like, there's a reason they say something like pay attention. Like, attention is currency, and you have such an abundant soul, okay? And it's like just bleeding out your energy into everything but what you're wanting to actually invest it in, because you're just stuck trying to survive. And for how these connect, the internal and external are connecting here with not all light is love. Painter, father, learner. Alright. That's way too many. Stop thinking you can hide from us in any way. We not only see you, we hear your thoughts, feel your emotions, etc. There's nothing you can hide from us, so please stop overthinking, lying, hiding, or thinking you aren't enough. We know every insecurity and why you have it, your secrets, everything, and it's okay to drop the mask. Let them see you as you are. You all are unique, and you get nowhere playing some type of role. We see it all. There's no point in it. It doesn't help at all. Okay, so it's like hinting at the collective of individuals who hold these types of connections within themselves. It's like a message from those energies within them that are saying, like, we see all of this. And so, like, anyways. All of our kind are aware of humanity. Some of us were lied to and didn't know until your energy happened to us. Most of us can observe and watch you, but it's due to your lack of awareness that keeps us from emerging. You are so powerful. Oh, that's, yeah. Influencing the collective unconscious. Anthropomorphic. Head of a collective. Holy shit. Just a couple, please. Alright. Blossoming romance. You might be meeting this guardian, like I had said, it may already exist in some way. Now this is gonna sound really bizarre, but this is what I'm getting. It's what's coming through, and I'm just going to let it come through the way it wants to. You don't know what this world may hold, okay, the entirety of it. You only know what you've been shown. You only know what they've allowed you to see, what they have told you exists in textbooks, history books, what have you. There are many things that you haven't been told the entirety of what it is. You could look at a statue, an ancient statue, and only see a statue. But you may not know what it actually is. It could be holding something. You might look at a mountain and think that it's just a mountain, that it's just a land mass and nothing more. But it could be something larger than anything else you've known. Oh, that's interesting. Because like in my mind's eye, I'm seeing like tunnels somewhere. There's water. Like it's almost like it's either like underwater tunnels or tunnels underground somewhere near water, or maybe under a body of water. And it's like what we think are these internal archetypes and stuff is that they actually exist somewhere, and it's like this telepathic type of communication or something. And I'm being told again now that there's something about this symbiotic something that it does physically exist. It's not just, and in this being able to manifest it outward, like giving it substance and form and whatnot, is like you being able to identify it correctly without it being able to physically stand before you. You getting that right permits it access to rise forth from where it had been, because like I'm not understanding what it's trying to convey and what necessarily may have happened, that there's this separation here, but it's almost like that's beside the point. Like that doesn't matter right now. Anyway, that was interesting. Let me get 2 more of these, and then I'm going to pull twice from the Jar of Weirdness. We've been at this for a hot minute. It's just really fascinating because it's like a lot of unexpected like synchronicities and stuff. We have studying, okay, learning had been here too. Powerful intuition connection with source. So you could be studying what this, what is this, what is intuition? What is this connection? What is it outside of this metaphysical thing that no one has, any sort of concrete explanation for? And it says there's three sides to every story. This side, that side, and the fucking truth. That's weird. I've got 3 piles here on the fucking table. Anywho, let's move on to the Jar of Weirdness. Oh, on the bottom of the deck, a new connection will come of this. A new friend. Family reunion, reunited with family. Change of heart. Spiritual. Whoever this resonates for, I would love to have a conversation with you. So we have, this one came out yesterday too, the cloaked figure, okay? I usually see that as like the divine masculine, the internal masculine, right? Because it's this presence, and it's cloaked, it's masked, it's hidden. And then there's another one in there that is wearing a robe too and stuff, and it holds flowers, and it's like a sign of softness, so I associate that one with the inner feminine thing. Anyways, just let you know what it means. Anyway, we have a clear quartz crystal here, so this could be prismatic. The way that light, perception and light play together, okay, shining it through a prism, through a lens, okay, and this entire spectrum, this visual spectrum opens up, right? And then we have this dress here with a unicorn on it. It's like a princess dress, okay? So it's like this playful, magical, whimsical perception, right? It's very symbolic of the imagination, the subconscious, okay? And it's showing that this masculine here, this masculine essence, likes the way that you bring the wonder and whimsy through in such a clear way. All right, there's something about, anyways. And then we have a spider at the center of its web, a little boy holding up a church building. We have spectaculum. It's like a show, right? Funny that the church came out just before that, just saying. And then we have a pink shoe. Lots of buckles, a platform heel, alright? So it's like elevated. Alright, but the style of the shoe is very suggestive, okay? So it's like the church did a good job, like speculating that this feminine presence elevated herself on this image of like catering to the flesh, when she actually internally operates on such a very deep level, like she's anything but. There's been so much coming up about these inversions lately. We have Talisman of Protection, okay. Beginning. Luna Magic, and that's also a tube of mascara to decorate the eyes. Trendy. Alright, what does that say? Irregularities or suspicious details. Quality work. And there's the other hooded figure here that's holding the flowers, okay? It's the inner feminine, right? And when you put them like that, like they face each other, okay? So she's been doing a good job, like I was talking about integrity, okay? Like this guardian finally being able to see all that this feminine actually is outside of all this shit that had been speculated about her and imposed upon her, who she truly is. She's done a wonderful job showing that where he can see it clearly, okay? And it's got this beautiful dress here, very like it just evokes wonder, whimsy, and this almost like childlike way of seeing things, but it's also held in this beautifully balanced, like profound intellect, okay? Ooh. And then we have the black snake here. And then this witch looks like she's telling a scary story to a little boy, okay? And that's there with church too, so it's like this boy is holding up the church, right? This is symbolic of the patriarchy, okay? Holding up this belief system, right? This notion that the feminine, the only elevation that she can have is through how she can serve man, okay? And you have a lot of masculines that are waking up to this who are breaking away from this generational rhetoric, right? And as you can see here with this little boy, and there's this, he's sitting on the floor in front of this witch. And she's like the typical old hag looking witch, okay? The image that is sold to from the time that they're little is that women who are in touch with the unseen, and it's our natural it's what we are, it's a part of us to be connected to source, to be in touch with the earth, the unseen, to be able to feel deeply. And a lot of men don't understand that, and it's presented to them in a way from the time that they're little, that's scary, that's a witch, and that the witch is this old hag cackling, or it's this succubus type energy, you know what I'm saying? And it's something that just pertains to this, it's very centered on, like, it keeps men worshipping their own phallus, so to speak. Okay? Because it's like anything deeper in a woman is something dark, something wicked, and that the only way that they can stay good is under the direction of man. And the natural structure of that goes entirely against the natural order of how men and women are supposed to. Anyway, I'm not gonna get on that. Leave it to learn. This isn't about what I believe. Alright, this is quite a big pile, but I'm going to go through it quickly because it's late. We have Sweet Dreams. 9, the number 9, but it's spelled out in a word. Martyr Themselves. We have Trees, okay, symbolic of the forest, the subconscious, the imagination, alright they. The mind, the deep mind. We have 5 of Swords, ooh. You scooped up success. It's a little ice cream cone. Anyway, I love it. It's precious. And we have Ticket. Justice. Down. We have a Catcher's Mitt, okay? Ooh, it's interesting because that's connecting back to the original transgression of this guardian, okay, being cast away, and someone caught it, all right, and so too, it seems like this is happening for the feminine, that being knocked out of this group, this order, okay, being knocked out of it, and justice coming from being caught in the midst of that fall, okay? Just as the guardian was caught in the midst of its fall by the one who's hosting it. We have Immortal. It's really teeny tiny, but the word says Immortal. And then we have Eyes, like 2 eyes. It's obviously a woman's face. My elbow. I keep hitting my fucking elbow. Alright, then we have the Emperor. See, you can see the Emperor, okay? Caught a glimpse of immortality when in front of the right gear. Right? For those with the eyes to see, let them see. The 2 of Pentacles. Fallacy, okay? Mutual investment also. For a walk. Alright, come take a walk with me. And we have a black cat. On. O-N. On. The tower. Come take a walk with me on this fucking tower that's about to come crashing down. Anyways, wow. Sorry. And then we have this leaf. It's funny because fall, you know, and then the tower. And then we have this makeup palette. It's colorful, just like I was talking about. The way that light and perception play with one another. Okay, the full spectrum, that becomes visual. All right, visual cortex also connected to the sigil of Lucifer. Before, relaxed. This Jack in the Box that comes out. Hold up, this is funny. Only sex. This motherfucker pops up again, looking like a Joker. Anyways, look into, and again, talk about that full spectrum of perception, of being able to see, right? We were talking about with catching the something immortal, okay? Being able to see this emperor, right? When they're standing in front of them because they have the right gear, okay? Because of this mutual investment, this mutual awareness, okay? From having been aware of it when it dwelled within them, so too the image will be when they step outside of them, okay? And that's what these cups represent in this spectrum. They're in a spectrum of color, right? It's no longer just light without something holding it in a vessel, a cup, a chalice, a whatever, okay? Just as your vessel, your cup holds the full spectrum of you, so too will its form be able to hold the full spectrum of all that it is as well. It's talking about also make sure you're taking the time when it comes to this Two of Pentacles, like this balancing and investment, like make sure you're letting your wildness, your primal nature with this cat here, this little black cat, have time to play, go for a walk, right? Utilize your imagination, whoever you are. You must have a very vivid and complex inner world, okay, that's already well built. It has been for a long time, okay? And go ahead and walk that fine line, because I'm getting the image of like a cat walking along the thin top of a fence, right? And people wonder, like, how the fuck can it walk on that? How can it keep its balance? It's walking this fine line of, in your perception, already thinking about how, if this tower were to fall. Okay, with this leaf here, it also talked about, like, a leaf falling is symbolic of change, right? All the things that could change, what needs to fall away, what could fall away. Whoever you are, you're very good at navigating variables, okay, that came up with this versatility, right? And adaptability, all right? Because it's like you need to do something, you need to look into something about that before you get too relaxed in this notion about someone who keeps popping up, being about only sex, like only wanting sex. It's like, okay, that's weird. Oh, goodness. You might need to have like some self-care while spending some time in your inner world with this other presence, okay? Because that energy from the root could really help give it that anyway, if you catch my drift, you catch my drift, okay? Anyways, moving on. We have this woman here, and she looks really nice and angry and mad, like she's ready to get froggy and jump on somebody, like, what? Come at me, bro. Anyway. A family. Okay, so it's like this conflict within family, which we already touched on. All right. And then we have glasses here. Because of your ability to see something more clearly, okay, my adrenaline is pumping. All right, so it's like when they see when they're able to see clearly what you have been able to see all along, be prepared for what that's going to stir up, kind of thing, okay? These are things that maybe you haven't allowed yourself to entertain the possibility of, because for whatever reason, this might be where you teeter too much one way or the other when walking that high wire, okay? where it's like you've gotten up to a certain point where you've let your perception push limits, but it's like you reach a point and every time you struggle to think beyond how would this happen if what I'm connected to were to step in front of me today or tomorrow or whenever, whatever. And to like let yourself explore that in a safe way before it actually arrives in front of you, and then neither of you are prepared because you didn't make time to come together to explore the variables and have a game plan for yourselves. Does that make sense? Anyways, it'll make sense for whoever it's meant for, okay? I'm not here to make it make sense. I'm just here to give the message for those who resonate with it. They're on the same weird-ass wavelength as I am, so I really hope that helps. And, yeah. Until next time. Bye.